Keir Starmer is heading into one of the biggest Commons clashes of his premiership, because the Mandelson row is no longer just about one appointment, it is now about what the Prime Minister knew, when he knew it, and whether Downing Street is telling the full story. Ministers have said Starmer would have blocked Peter Mandelson's appointment if he had known he had failed security vetting. This is one of the biggest pressure moments for Starmer right now. He is facing MPs after days of fallout over Mandelson's failed vetting, with opposition parties demanding accountability and some calling for him to quit. Here's why. The first big question is the most damaging one: what did Starmer actually know, and when? Reuters says Starmer has insisted he was not told about the failed vetting at the time, while ministers are publicly backing that line. Another big question is why neither he nor his team pushed harder for more detail before such a sensitive appointment went through. A summary of the BBC-linked piece also points to questions over whether Parliament was misled. And it does not stop there. There are also bigger questions hanging over who really carries the blame and whether the full paper trail will now come out. Sir Ollie Robbins was removed after the scandal exploded, but pressure is growing for ministers to hand over the vetting files to Parliament's Intelligence and Security Committee, which means this could turn into an even bigger transparency row. That is what makes this so politically dangerous. Because if Starmer convinces MPs he was kept in the dark, the focus shifts to a serious failure inside government. But if he cannot explain why the appointment still went through, then the story becomes one about judgment, oversight and trust at the very top. That is why this Commons appearance matters so much. So the simple version is this. Starmer now faces 5 huge lines of attack wrapped into one scandal: what he knew, why more questions were not asked, whether Parliament got the full truth, who is really responsible, and whether the hidden documents will finally be released. His Commons appearance matters because it could decide whether this row starts to calm down, or gets even worse.